game was kind of frustrating after all the hype from this week. Like, this game for the Lions, it was easily a humbling experience. Like, I think the fan base and the players got a little bit too carried away after knocking off Kansas City last week. And yeah, well, to say the Seahawks have the Lions number is a massive understatement. But yeah, and it was easily a winnable game, just pretty frustrating. Before we talk about the game, though, we need to talk about everything else that happened with Detroit sports this week. So, starting off, we have the Tigers this week, and yes, this is actually a Tigers chain. I have more than one fucking chain on the shelf. I got like 4 chains for all 4 Detroit sports teams. So yeah, I do have a Red Wings and a Pistons one, too. So yeah, Tigers, they had only 2 series this week. They lost the series to Cincinnati, which congrats to Dashy, by the way, and all the Cincinnati Reds fans on that series win. And really, it was a series that could have gone either way, because the Tigers and the Reds played close to each other, those 2 games the Tigers lost. Because in the end, Tigers just could not finish the deal against Cincinnati. Yeah, the Tigers won the last game of the series with a blowout win over them 8-2. To prevent Cincinnati from getting a sweep. But honestly, that win was just the equivalent of finding a $5 bill after the fucking house burned down. But after that, though, hey, at least they got some redemption after and swept the Angels, winning 3 games against the LA Angels. And not only did they sweep the Angels, they eliminated the Angels from playoff contention and sent them straight to the death note. And also handed the LA Angels their 8th straight losing season. Good God, the Angels are a massive shit show with Artie Moreno. Moreno needs to fucking sell that team, for fuck's sakes. And they're about to lose Otami in the offseason because Otami's a free agent. So yeah, Angels, you think it's this bad now? Oh, it's about to get worse because you're about to lose a generational talent in free agency. Honestly, watch Otami sign with the fucking Yankees. That's more than likely what's going to happen. Either the Yankees, Astros, or hell, even the Dodgers. He's going to sign with a big market team. Probably the Yankees, because the Yankees are going to fucking get desperate after this year. But yeah, the Tigers now 70-79. Like, I think they're, even though they're not mathematically eliminated yet from wildcard contention, they pretty much effectively are, but the division is still wide open, though. Like, it's still a total crapshoot. Like, Tigers still could have a realistic shot at the division with 13 games left, but they have to effectively win every game from here on out, and would need Minnesota and Cleveland to both collapse. I mean, it's pretty plausible, but Tigers would need a lot of help, though. I probably think Tigers will probably get eliminated this week or the week after. Like the clock is almost ticking on the Tigers, though. On another frustrating Tigers season. Like, it always seems like the Tigers always seem to play better when it doesn't matter. And to be honest, there's really now no real reason or need to tank anymore because of the draft lottery, because it turns the tanking into a total crapshoot. So first off, I'll just start off by just congratulating Seattle and all the 12s, man. Good game on you. Just played outstanding game. Shout out to Geno Smith. Played a great game. Like, honestly, this game for the Lions, it was a pathetic defensive performance after last week. Like, seriously for the Lions. Seattle had both their starting blindside tackles out, and you could only get 1 sack out of it, which was like at the end of the 4th quarter. Like, literally, for Geno Smith, this game was literally a rerun from last year, making Geno Smith look like a fucking first ballot Hall of Famer again. As, yeah, the Lions pretty much are proving that Geno Smith's season last year looking like was not a flash in the pan, or a fluke. Geno still got a lot to prove on that front, but he's so far turning in the right direction. Just, Lions just simply got outplayed in this game by the Hawks. Just outplayed. The Lions made too many mistakes. Like, I mean, when you lose it, like, defense didn't even generate a turnover in this game. Like, the Lions generated 3 turnovers in this game. And to be perfectly honest, when you lose in a turnover battle 3-0, you're not going to win many games giving up 3 turnovers. Not in this league and with how competitive it is. Especially against a team like Seattle and a coach like Pete Carroll. Like Pete Carroll may be old as hell, but that motherfucker can still coach. And that still has a lot of fucking passion, too. Just always seems like no matter what the Lions do, they just can never beat the Seahawks if their life depended on it. Just pretty frustrating, like, and of course, you know, the two biggest mistakes the Lions made in this game was the fumble at the start of the second half from David Montgomery, and then the Goff pick six that put the Lions down the 10-point hole. Like, those two turnovers alone caused the 14-point swing in this game and caused momentum to go in Seattle's favor by a lot. But, you know, this wasn't an SOL loss. If it was an SOL loss, the Lions would have just laid down and died after the Montgomery interception, fumble, and the Goff pick six. But they didn't, because the following drive after the Montgomery fumble, the Lions went down the field and Montgomery got a touchdown to take the lead back. And then a drive after Goff's pick six, Goff drove the Lions down the field and got a touchdown to cut the deficit to 3. And the Lions, of course, forcing overtime. Like, honestly, Dan Campbell, you ask me who's at fault for this game? Everybody's at fault. Everybody was at fault equally in their own right. You know, offense for causing a 14-point swing in Seattle's favor. Defense for not even generating a turnover or getting any pressure to Geno Smith. Because Geno Machino had all fucking day to throw that ball, like only one fucking sack all game. With both their blindside tackles out. Like, the Lions were able to, for the most part, stop the run game. That's fine and dandy, but they couldn't stop fucking Geno Smith. Especially when Geno Smith has weapons like DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and the rookie JSN to throw to. The Lions had issues covering all three for most of the game. Like, yeah, but the Lions at least did better against Seattle than they did last year, but that's, like, honestly a consolation prize, mainly because the Lions forced Seattle to actually punt the ball at least a few times for once. But yeah, still a pretty frustrating game, you know. Defense, like, honestly, the defense, they need to get a pass rushing interior defensive tackle in the interior. They need to get pass rusher in the interior. Like, Brad Holmes 100% needs to make a call. And it's a pretty hard loss, too, especially with the passion from the fan base this week. You know, they even broke, the Ford Field record for loudest decibel even got broke this week. The previous record was 121.1. Sunday, the Lions broke the record, saying it at 127.5. So, yeah, the Lions fan base understood the assignment. The One Pride understood the assignment, especially with the ski mask, too, showing up. And also, it was kind of funny watching all the fucking SOL deaths in the One Pride fan base lose their shit over a ski mask. Man, imagine in 2023 getting offended by a little mask. When everyone was used to wearing masks in a pandemic for a couple years. Honestly, I don't fucking care. It's their body, their fucking choice. If they want to wear a fucking ski mask to the game, the fans will fucking do it on their own fucking free will. I love the idea, too. I even ordered mine, too. I'm just waiting for it to come in because it's a custom one. So, yeah, when it comes in, it'll look really good with this chain. But at least now with Goff's pick six, at least the streak of Goff's consecutive passes without a reception is over. Now that streak's over, now he can just go back to now focusing on playing football and trying to get the Lions over the hump. You know, just a humbling loss. And yes, I know the reffing in this game was garbage, especially in overtime with that on the Lockett game-winning touchdown when Hutchinson got held. Like, that's really not surprising considering last week how Hutchinson got held every fucking play. Because all the O-lines know that no one on the O-line can beat Hutchinson straight up. So they're having to fucking cheat to take Hutchinson out of the game. And honestly, is anyone fucking surprised the refs aren't calling that shit? Because I guess holding is no longer a penalty. Unless it's the Lions committing it. Guess holding is no longer a penalty. Like, honestly, are you fucking surprised? The NFL's never been fucking consistent with their penalties or anything. Especially when it comes to the 3-1-3. But to be perfectly honest, the Lions should not have put themselves in that position to have the game decided like that. But don't get it twisted. Was the reffing in this game garbage? Yes. Was it the reason the Lions lost this game? No. Lions lost this game being on the defense. Like, the offense did their fucking job to win this game. Defense did not. And no, the overtime rules are not the reason why the Lions lost this game, or a fucking coin was not the reason why the Lions lost this game. No, the overtime rules are not fucking garbage or suck, and they do not need to be changed. This fan base does not need to be Bill's fucking Mafia from a couple years ago. Listen, football's called a team sport for a fucking reason. If you can't stop a 75-yard drive when it matters the most, then you don't deserve to get the ball back on offense. Like, honestly, this was a winnable game for the Lions easily. The Lions had multiple chances to win this game, and they failed to take advantage of it. They had a chance and they blew every chance. Honestly, with how many mistakes the Lions made today, Lions honestly flat out did not deserve to win this game. Yes, that no holding call on Hutchinson at the end was complete bullshit, but honestly, don't get it twisted. The Lions did not deserve to win this game, plain and simple. And honestly, folks, you need to stop blaming the fucking refs for fucking everything and just actually hold the right people accountable. Because as far as I'm concerned, blaming the refs for this game, you're blaming the wrong fucking people for this game. Honestly, you need to hold everybody and the players accountable. And it is also kind of frustrating that the players aren't allowed to call out the officiating because, if you call it the officiating, that's a fine. That's just fucking frustrating. And just for some reason, the Lions are now getting the injury bug because now Houston's out for 6 to 8 weeks. God damn it. Can the Lions have anything nice happen to them for a fucking change? All I say now for that is, next man step up or step aside. Simple as that. Pretty frustrating game. But honestly, the way the Lions played, they didn't deserve to beat the Hawks. Congrats to Seattle. Seattle earned this win fair and square. Hey, it happens, This was a humbling game. But like I said last week after Kansas City in the preview, the season's not a sprint, it's a marathon. We're only starting the marathon. We weren't going to go undefeated this season. It wasn't going to happen. This is a humbling loss. Now the Lions can learn to stop being cute and just play football the right way. Dan Campbell's also equally responsible too because of him going for it way too many times and being too aggressive. Honestly, in this game, Dan Campbell got way too greedy in this game. And he cost them some points on the board. Honestly, early in the game, take the points. Don't go for it. Just take the points. Take the 3 points. Just take the points. Alright, just take the points. And worry about it later. And only go for it when necessary. Honestly, Dan Campbell needs to learn when to go for it at the right time and when not to go for it. In the end, Campbell tried to be greedy. And it cost them the win. Effectively. Just left too many points on the board. But honestly, the best advice I can give to the One Pride is simply just move on. Just let it go, move on, and focus on Atlanta next week. On to the Falcons next week. Just a frustrating game, but hey, congrats to Seattle. Hey, at the end of the day, every team has their fucking kryptonite. And for the Lions, it seems that their kryptonite is the fucking Seahawks. Just seems like no matter what the Lions do, Seattle always has their number. Seattle always knows how to Seattle knows how to beat the Lions. They have the fucking blueprint pretty straightforward out. There are just some teams you do well, match up well against, and some teams you don't. And just for some reason, the Lions just can't seem to match up with Seattle well. Just in the end, the Lions had multiple chances. They just couldn't finish the deal against Seattle. Seattle did their job. Detroit didn't. Simple as that. And let's be real. This is not the end of the world. This season's not over yet. Because even though the Lions lost today, they didn't lose any ground in the division. Because Chicago lost to Tampa, Green Bay lost to Atlanta, and Minnesota lost on Thursday to Philly. So yeah, we didn't lose anything, but at the same time, it's kind of frustrating too because the Lions had a golden chance to pull away in the division, and they failed to take advantage of it. It was kind of like last year in week 5, around Christmas Eve, when everyone they needed to lose in the playoff race lost, and the Lions didn't take advantage of it and got steamrolled by Carolina. Kind of like that all over again. This time in the division, And honestly, I think the best thing the Lions can do right now is win the division so that this game doesn't come back to haunt them at the end of the season. Since Seattle is 100% going to be a playoff team this year, contending for a wild card spot. I don't know if they can beat the 49ers for the division, because the 49ers look really good right now. Especially knocking off the Rams last week. Rams Sunday. But just, frustrating low chance. The Lions had a chance to pull away in the division, and they failed to take advantage of it. Like, the only thing the Lions can do is win this game, win the division, so that we don't have to worry about the head-to-head tiebreaker with Seattle. Because we all saw how important this game was a year ago, because this game kept Detroit out of the playoffs last year. So yeah, the best thing the Lions could do is win the division, and who knows? And who knows based on seeding what happens? Who knows? Maybe the Lions and Seahawks meet again in the playoffs in the wild card round at Ford Field in January. Because honestly, I still feel like Detroit and Seattle, I think both are playoff teams. And who knows? I think there's a pretty strong possibility with how everything is shaping up. I think there's a strong possibility the Lions and Seahawks could cross paths in the playoffs on a collision course. Time will tell there. But, time will tell in 4 months from now. But anyway, Lions lose 37-31 in OT. Frustrating game, but honestly, the Lions made way too many mistakes. Didn't deserve this game. Anyway, just refocus, move on to Atlanta next week, and try and shut down Desmond Ridder and the Falcons to get back on track. Just try and get back on track, because the next 4 games look pretty favorable after this. But yeah, anyway, I think that wraps it up, but I'm out of here. Peace.